Can you turn the camera?
You mean switch off or on?
No, horizontal.
Something like this?
No. Okay, that's even worse. Okay, perfect. Thanks. Great. Should we let the others and start? Sorry, Vivi. Just
Don't see. This virus incubatees who are watching us here in Zoom. And hello to all of you on YouTube who have joined to learn together with us. I hope you have your lunches so you will not be starving. Today we have a very special day and a very special guest. The day is special because it's shining and once again we are able to be together. And it's also very special because we have a very special guest. Her name is Vivian Marcelino S. Lima. And until recently, or at least when I spoke to her last, she was working for the UN at the Social and Economic Commission for Asia and Pacific. She has changed her job. She's still all about innovation and all about partnerships. So let me welcome Vivi. Hello, Vivi. How are you?
Hello, everyone. Hello, Viviana. It's a pleasure to be joining you all here today. I hope you can all hear me well.
Yes, we can. So where are you sitting today? Where are you?
So I'm joining you all from Bangkok, Thailand. which is a great pleasure. Here's the end of the day for you there in Geneva. Is only the start of the afternoon. I hope it's a great day in Geneva, sunny and bright.
Yes, it is. Thank you. So, as you all know, Vivi will be sharing with us and with you the secrets on how to build partnerships. So, Vivi, please take it away.
Thank you very much. So, just confirming, Daniel will manage the PowerPoint. Okay, here we go. So, I like to start with a quote, like many presentations. And this quote, I think, says a lot about what partnership is. So, coming together is the beginning, staying together is progress, and working together is success. And the reason why I chose this quote, because partnership building is all about relationship building. And we're going to cover a lot of this when we're talking today. Um, next, so what are we covering today? Today we are talking about approaching partners. That includes how do you identify who you want to work with? Developing that partnership. So how do you actually get to know them? How do you strike that first partnership? And then retaining those partners. So the relationship, when you actually approach a partner, that's just the beginning. There's so much more that goes after that. So next. So before I go, who am I? So Viliana, as Viliana said, just recently I was working for the United Nations ASCAP, which is the Social and Economic Commission for Asia Pacific. And the ASCAP focuses on partnership with governments. Before that, I was working for the International Trade Center, which is another UN organization. And in both of these UN organizations, I was program manager and innovation lead. So a lot of the work I do is on partnership, and I hope to um, give you some insights from personal experience. Currently, I am in Bangkok, Thailand, where I am the program director for RISE. RISE is a corporate innovation powerhouse. What we do is that we help corporations, organizations, and governments to develop the innovation capacity, including by partnering with um, startups and smaller ventures such as yourself. So hope that this will also be valuable for those that are looking at engaging with some bigger players in the market. Okay, next. So before we go into what you do, I like to start with this. Partnerships is about strategy. You have to really be strategic about who are you partnering with, why are you partnering, and what are you wishing to accomplish. And the reason is partnership takes a lot of time and resources to develop. Um, and for those who have already tried to develop some of those partnerships, who have experience developing partnership, you know what I'm talking about. For a small company, especially as a company that's starting, resources are scarce. So you have to be strategic about where your resources go. That means that you have to be very good about choosing a right partner, because the wrong partner can cost you not only time but also money. And the other thing is quantity in partnerships, not quality. It's much more worth to invest in one very strong and very rewarding partnership than to develop many partnerships that don't take you anywhere. So when we go through the next slides and topics of today, we are going to talk a lot about how to be strategic about a partnership building. So the first thing in partnership is you need to know what you need in a partner. you need to understand your own needs. So there are many different ways, there are many needs that you might have. The next, here you have some very common needs. Access to customer. That's basically you want a partner that will allow you to direct connect to customers. Lead generation, you need a partner that can create leads for you. Access to market, you're struggling to access a market that is not your own. Especially social enterprises tend to have a challenge with market access. Potentially to save costs. There's your company that has an important value chain, distribution chain, and you need to save costs because again, being a small company, your resources are constrained. You can have access to technology, functionality, or data. This includes doing joint R&D, or maybe you're just looking for visibility, you're looking for exposure. So can you start building your brand? Or you might looking for someone who can remove roadblocks that you have, or access funding. The point about partnerships are that they're best when they're helping you solve a complex problem, right? So if it's something that can easily be solved without having to develop a partnership, maybe you look into that. Because as I said, partnership is time, it's money, it's commitment, it's effort. So be sure to know, what do you need? What's the challenge that you are trying to solve with this partnership? Not only that, partnerships should serve the point of making your clients or your users or your customers' life easier. At the end of the day, a partnership is about creating value for those that you want to create value for. So that's about availability, convenience, speed, price, performance. It's about how you create a better experience for your customers when you're developing your partnership. What is important here is that you have your own business model canvas, which I'm sure most of you have developed. You have to know very well how your business operates. What are your needs? What are your constraints? Where can you best make use of a partnership? So next. The next side, the other side of that is knowing and understand what have you got to offer. So the interesting bit here is, in my experience developing partnerships, you would be surprised by the number of times that I was sitting in a table with a potential partner, and neither did they know what they wanted from me, or did I know what they could offer me, right? So I think some of us have had that awkward experience where you're talking to someone and you're talking about partnership, but it's not clear. And the reason why it's important that when you approach a partner, you know both what you need to offer, what you have to offer, and what you need, is because first impressions do matter. So think about partnership developing and relationship developing very much like dating. First impressions matter in dating, and they also matter in partnership building. So if you have had the opportunity to schedule a meeting with someone, make sure that you are coming to that meeting with a very clear value proposition for both of you. So to go to the next. And a partnership at the end of the day is how your business model and the business model of your partner relate. So give you an example. That's my experience as in the United Nations. Actually, can we go back to the previous slide? Yeah, thank you. I've also had many times where I was sitting with a potential partner and our business models didn't match at all. And the challenge with that is that as much as we like each other, as much as we would love to partner, there is no connection point between us. For you, we are going to develop a partnership. That means homework. That means that you have to actually research who you're going to partner with. What do they do? What is the value they offer? How do they operate? What are their partners? Those are all important information that you actually need to have when you go into identifying what value can you create to the partner that you are approaching. So for us, most of the time, we're very quickly thinking, what do we need? And sometimes we need to be very creative about what we can offer, especially when we are starting, especially when we might not have a proven product, we might not have scale, and especially for many here who are at the incubation phase, you might have to be creative about what you're going to offer to your client. Yes, next. And for that, you need to know who you're going to partner with. Sometimes we take a very, let's say, opportunistic approach to partnerships. You go to networking, you meet someone, you think, oh, maybe I can do a partnership. Or you, by chance, come to encounter a company, organization, a government agency that you think, oh, this might be interesting. But actually, it's more useful to work backwards. It's more useful for you to think, let's say, what do I need? And what can I offer? And then start listening and researching those partners that can, one, offer what you need and to benefit from what you have. And when we talk about strategy, that means that you're going to narrow down that list until you have identified those with the biggest potential for you to partner with, right? And you're going to try to strike a partnership with those. That means that you might have to go through stages in your partnership development. What does that mean? That means if you have identified someone who you don't have a connection to, this is the challenge of working backwards. You have identified someone. You know that that's the best fit between what you can offer and what they need. So how do I get to them? All right. Maybe that person's much more higher up. Maybe that partner is nowhere near your network. Many of us will think about the traditional cold call, sending an email, writing on LinkedIn. Although those might happen, the truth is very rarely it does. The best way to find a partner is to find a connection. And so what I find very useful to do is when I actually want to partner with someone, I create the persona, I identify the person I need to talk to, and I create a map of who does that person knows until I find someone who might know someone that I know until I get a connection. So it's kind of like the 3 degrees of separation. Someone always knows someone who knows someone. And that to me is the most effective approach. Being on the other side, being someone who has often been approached for partnerships, I was much more likely to consider giving space for a meeting or agreeing to meet, basically, if it was someone who was recommended to me. So try to go for that. If that's not possible, if you can really not make a connection and you will have to make an introduction, state in your introduction, state on your email directly what's your value proposition and what are you seeking. The reason for this is because people receive hundreds of emails a day. So if you don't have a connection, that's your chance to make a first impression and get that opportunity for that first meeting. And don't be mistaken, that first meeting is a pitch meeting. So you need to be prepared. Can we go to the next slide? Right. And your pitching will depend on who you're talking to. As your as a small company, as a startup, being developed, a social enterprise, you might need to partner with many different institutions. Might be the UN, might be another startup, might be an NGO, might be academia, might be another company, might be an influencer who can bring you visibility. The point here is identify match your style to who you're talking to. You're not going to talk to a government the same way that you're going to talk to a company. And you're not going to talk to the company the same way you're going to talk to a startup. You're not going to talk to a startup the same way you're going to talk to an influencer, right? So when we say pitch, when it comes to the partnership stage, really do your homework. If you get a meeting with someone, stalk them, learn everything you can, not to creep them out in the meeting, but to learn what value can you offer to that person. If you have had a chance for this program to go for the empathy, which I believe you have, the empathy stage, remember to empathize with the person that you're sitting in a table with. A lot of the times, those people think about the jobs they need to do. They have jobs that they need to do. And your life, your job, when you go into that meeting, is to show how you can help them get that job done. And it might not be what you think it is. It's probably not what you think it is. Right? If you, let's say, if you approach the World Health Organization because you have excellent product that can excellent solution that can help trace vaccines, that can do last mile delivery. That's a very important trouble for the WHO, but it might not be what's occupying the mind of the person you're talking to. So remember to do that empathy. Remember to talk, to get that emotional connection. And back to the idea of partnerships, relationship building. That means you're dating the person who you're developing a partnership with, and you do have to make them like you. Right? So you'll go next. So we talked about this. At the end of the day, who do you decide you're going to partner with? Is who has what you need versus who needs what you have. But there is actually more to that you should consider when you're selecting your potential partner. Can we go to the next? So first, do your values match? It's going to be very hard to develop a partnership that's long-term, it's fulfilling for both of you if your priorities don't match. And that's a challenge sometimes for social enterprises or solutions that have impact focus. They need to partner with traditional businesses or they need to partner with large companies. But at the end of the day, you want to build a strong partnership with someone who is trying to go in the same direction that you are going. So do your values match? Reputation. Will your brand image gain or suffer? This is one that might seem a little how do you say, cynic, but it's very true. You have to think about, does that partner creates the image for you that you want to have, or does partnering with this organization, this company, startup, it's actually going to make you look like something you don't want to look like. The outlook is basically, where is a potential partner trying to go? And sometimes these are the things that are hard to get. That's why you really have to do homework. You really have to research. But sometimes you come to partners thinking that they will be interested at what we have, in what we have to offer based on what we know they have done. But most likely they will be interested in what we have to offer based on where they want to go. Because for what they have done, they probably already have partners. They are already looking for the next level. So don't assume straight away that because a partner has done something in the past, that they will be interested in doing this now. So understand what they want to go, and a good way to do that is look at the website of your partner. Look at their mission, their vision, their what have they been putting on their social media. What are they indicating as where they're going to be focused in the future? And another important factor about this is it's much easier to build something together than to come into something that already exists. So if you can identify an opportunity where you can create something together, that will give you a greater bargain power when you are on the table talking about a partnership. Existing relationships is, you should consider whether that partner already has a partner who is offering the same that you're offering. And the reason here is, if they do, you have to do better than them. You need to know who those other partners are too, and how can you offer a value that is better than what they already are offering the partner you want to partner with. Or can they absorb you as an additional partner? Do they have the capacity to bring you on board if you're offering a value that's also interesting to them? Or can you take the place of the partner that is already there? So that means a lot of scribbling. This is basically a lot of scribbles. When I'm thinking about developing a partnership, I write down all this access, all these questions, and I do my research. Can I go next? Yeah, so this is about making sure that you make use of your network. Also, when you're trying to figure it out, who those partners are and what do they need and what you can offer and how you can connect. Because your network is the most valuable asset that you have. And if it's not, and don't be shy when it comes to network. Don't be shy to reach out, to ask for help, to ask for a connection. More times than not, people are really willing to make that connection happen for you. So explore your network, invite people for coffee, especially if you know someone who might have worked with your partner in the past. Try to find out everything that you can using your network. Can we go to the next one? Okay. So you know you have 3 elements already. You know your value. You know what you can offer. You know who you want to partner with. One aspect that people sometimes don't straight away think about is how you're going to partner. And when it comes to how you're going to partner, I'm talking about how you're going to transfer value from you to your partner and your partner to you back. Can we go next? Next. Sorry. Yeah. In a commercial world, The very common way to do that is revenue sharing, joint venturing, resource pooling. For in the impact world, we are seeing more and more results delivery, where you're partnering. What is results delivery? It's basically you partner with the government, a larger company, the UN, whoever it is, and that partnership is based on you delivering a product, a service, and doing something for that partner that that partner is supposed to do in the first place. So think about for social enterprises especially, this is very helpful. The emerging results delivery kind of framework. But what is important here is that when you approach a partner, you try to find out whether what you're envisioning as a way to work together is possible or not. So I'm going to give you an example. Many times working in the UN, we approached by um, by businesses, associations who want to partner with the UN, and a lot of that involves the UN transferring, let's say, financial assets to those partners. It's in the UN system that's impossible. So a lot of time and the energy end up going between the, the the company and the UN, one trying to explain to the other how they would like to do that when it's not possible in the first place. So when you're doing your homework, try to identify straight away how can you make that collaboration actually happen? How can you make that transfer of assets possible? For many of you who might be thinking about partnering for projects, you might look at resource pooling, making sure that you're showing what resources are you bringing and what resources do you need, and then how you're going to make that happen. That said, don't think about institutionalizing it straight away. So many times um, we'll be approached by partners, or we'll we'll go and partner. And the first question that is on the table is, okay, let's sign an agreement. Actually, that is not where we start. Um, Thinking about the dating metaphor, um, we only sign an agreement when you're ready to marry. And this is important for you, especially because you want to test it out whether this is going to work before you actually do anything. So try to develop a pilot project together. Try to show value. Try to understand whether you are going to receive back the value that you had envisioned, and then start thinking about institutionalizing. That means it might take a few iterations of the collaboration before you actually strike an agreement or something a bit more formal. But at the end of the day, from my experience, it's not the agreement that defines the depth of the partnership, but it's really how to what extent there is that transfer of value between you and your partner. Next. So, although a lot of the things that I said are more on the rational side, the truth about partnerships is that it's a lot of emotional connection. It's about the mind and the heart coming together. And what that means is for you as a partnership developer, we said when we're developing a partnership, we are actually making new friends. We are actually getting to know people at a personal and deeper level. And don't be uh, how do I say? Don't expect that someone's going to partner with you only for the rational components. There is a lot of irrational things that go behind the decision to make a partnership happen. Even me in the past, I have wanted to experiment with a partnership because I really like the person, I really connected with the person, I really believe that they had what it took to make a partnership happen. So don't subestimate the importance of this emotional connection with the person that you're trying to develop a partnership with. Um, okay, next. So how can this all come together? I suggest that after this, you go and you print this partnership canvas and stop thinking about the partnership you want to develop. This is basically bring together everything that we talked about. I didn't create this, of course, it's online, anyone can take it. But it talks about the aim of your partnership, understanding why, again, from the beginning, why do you want that partnership? Um, what's your partner's business model? And what's your business model? What is the desired asset that you wish to get from your partner? What do you wish to leverage from this partnership? And what leverage do you have to offer to your partner? And the middle is how is that transfer of value and asset going to happen? So you can create the ultimate um, value that you're seeking. So definitely recommend after this, print it, give it a go, and start thinking about how you're going to go about your next partnership. Okay, next. So now we're talking about the most important thing. The getting that first partnership is hard, but maintaining it is actually harder. It's a whole journey that goes into maintaining your partnership. The moment you strike a partner, that means constant networking with your partner. That means regular check-ins with your partner. Can we go next? And that means good data management. You do need to have a CRM. My person, actually, you don't need to have a CRM. You just need to have something that gives you the same functionality. So an Excel will do, an Airtable will do, as long as you have a good system to keep track of your partners. Personally, I like Airtable. It really helps because I can create automated um, um, notifications that tells me when to check in with a partner. And when has it been a long time since I haven't actually rediscussed something or reevaluated something. So do remember to take the time to develop your CRM from the start. And to maintain it, make sure that you are a CRM. If you don't use it, it's useless. But if you use it, it's really powerful. So make sure that you're taking the time to gather your data, to download your findings into your CRM so you can connect it later.
Quick question, Vivi. For those
Yes.
of us who don't know what a CRM is, can you please explain?
Oh, of course, of course. So a CRM is a client relation management system. It was created mostly for sales to manage your sales leads, but it's very useful and powerful to manage partnerships. Um, if you go, there are a number of free tools that you can use, which is the great news here. You don't need to have a lot of money. What you have to do is spend time making sure that your data is gold, right? That your insights are in your CRM.
And can you give an example of a couple of tools, or at least one tool? You already mentioned Airtable.
Yeah, I wouldn't go for if you are at the early stages, I wouldn't go for any complicated CRM. If you're already using a project management tool like Basecamp, Asana, they have CRM plugins. So I would recommend to go for that. If you're not, go for something. I would go for the best is to go for Airtable.
Beautiful. Thank you so much.
And then, okay, so the thing about why is this important? Partnership development is about constantly reevaluating your partnership. Be sure of one thing: your partner on your other side is constantly reevaluating whether your partnership still makes sense. Just because a partnership did make sense at one point doesn't mean it will make sense forever. So when you're managing your relationship, it's about constantly looking for ways that you can create additional value together. So maybe you came the first partnership that brought you together was a visibility partnership. From that, you start thinking, can we create a project together? Can we create a product or a service together? Can we combine what we have to make something bigger? If that's a value, if it's a valuable partner who you want to maintain for the future for a long time, make sure you're always reevaluating your partnership and looking for new ways to create additional value. Next. Right. And this is actually bringing together. Like I said, a partnership is a relationship. It will start with um, finding someone attractive. We'll go into a first date. It will go into trying to impress each other. It will develop very much like a romantic relationship does. And as you grow, as you mature, there will be points where the relationship will grow cold and you have to reignite it. And just like in a romantic relationship. So I think it has helped me a lot to think about partnerships like that. Because a lot of what you should be doing in the development of a partnership is what you should be doing if in a romantic relationship development. Yeah, so those are my points. And if you have any questions, if I can help you with your partnerships development, please let me know.
Thank you so much, Vivi. It's great that at the end of the day, it all boils down to love, right?
It all
Doesn't
comes
it?
down to love.
It all comes down to love. So, on that note, who has a question? Please unmute yourself and ask.
Hi, everyone. Oh, there you go. Hi, Vivi. Nice to see you.
Hello, nice to see you too.
I just have a quick question. Can you tell us, let's say, examples of moments in that you have terminated a partnership? Have you done that already? And what was your experience on managing that?
Yes. So yeah, terminating a partnership is hard. It's a tough decision, especially when you have come to know each other and you have come to respect each other. In most times, it came down to that partnership not having any value anymore. And that's why I talk about making sure that you are looking for constant ways of creating value. If you want to maintain that partnership, there needs to be constant innovation within your partnership also. My experience terminating partnerships is when there is no value being created anymore. The partnership will come to a natural end where you're basically going to say, I think we're not going to keep doing this project anymore. We are not going to move ahead with this. We are moving in a different direction. And what you find is you should look for the hints, because if someone tells you we are looking at a different direction, if your relationship that you have is at some point hitting, giving you the hint that they might be looking somewhere else, they're looking in a different direction, take that as a clue that your partnership might be going cold and it's time to reactivate it. But if for your side, if that partnership for you is not creating value anymore, also don't be afraid to go and to be yourself, the one to say, we either need to create more value or there is no point for us to keep doing this, in terms of the resources and the time and the effort that you end up putting on that partnership. Does that answer your question?
Yes, thank you. I think Claudia has a question.
Yes, hi Vivi, thank you for being here. And my question is, we are actually in this stage, we're gonna pitch to a partner that we envision like the right one to develop our project, or to strategically leverage our project. And I think I have done my homework. I know what this partner is. I know we are going the same direction. I know I have value to offer. I think I done well my homework. My question to you is, what's the risk of a non-agreement? You said just go up there and start working. I'm nobody. I'm a startup, and I'm gonna be working with a large corporation, and here I am going there and offering them value and not asking them for an agreement. I had to be really careful about that as well, right? I mean, how do I walk along in a way that I protect my startup, but I also keep offering them the value that we can offer them without taking a lot of risk, for them to at one point tell us, well, that's okay, thank you, bye.
So yeah, so my answer to that is, when you're partnering with someone, you still have to protect your intellectual property, your value. Don't give out the gold. What you actually want is to create dependency. You want them to depend on you. So show them that I can do something for you. Just don't tell them how you're going to do it. Right?
Okay.
And especially if you're looking for a big company, the challenge with sitting with a big company and straight away saying, can we sign an agreement, is that will scare them off. They will be the legal implications of signing an agreement. And even sometimes, we sit with someone and then they say, oh, before we do anything, I want to sign a non-disclosure agreement. But I don't know anything about what you can actually offer me. So why would I get the time of my corporate lawyers, the time of my staff, to develop a non-disclosure agreement for something that I don't know what it is, for a value that I don't know if I can make use of? So I think the best way is to do something very small together, where you can show that, that you can create that value. And then once you have done that, go for something bigger.
Okay.
And maybe one very simple example I can give you is with one partner that we had. We had this vision of doing something much bigger together, but we didn't know each other. I didn't know if it was worth it. So the first thing we did together was just a workshop where we get to test the waters, right? I'm not touching their product, I'm not touching my product, but we are doing something together where we're getting to see what kind of value we can deliver to each other. And then from there, you start building like that relationship. You get to, oh, that they actually might have something that I want. And then you go into the next, and then later on you sign an agreement. That's exactly how it happens in this case and most cases that I've been working with.
Okay, so should I look for a smaller company maybe, or should I just go ahead and look for the big fish?
Sorry, can you repeat that? I missed it, sorry.
Sorry. Shall I look for a smaller partner, not so large of a company, and maybe start from there, or shall I just go ahead and do the large corporation?
Right. Personally, if you have the time and you have that opportunity, I would develop with a smaller company first.
Okay.
And then go into a bigger company, unless that bigger company has a structured program to partner with smaller players. Like they have a innovation unit where they do partnerships, innovation pilot partnership. So that's kind of like, think about how you're going to partner with them, because if they already have those mechanisms, then yeah, you can like try to connect with a bigger company. Some bigger companies have their own incubation programs that you can try to go through also to start like build that bigger relationship. If you're very new, develop a smaller partnership first, grow a bit, show that you can deliver, and then approach a bigger partner.
Maybe I want to contact you because we have a potential partner in Malaysia. So
sure.
Maybe you can help us.
Sure, of course.
Thank you, Vivi.
Thank you.
Thank you very much, Claudia. There's a question in the chat box, which I don't really understand very well. So if the person who has posed it would like to unmute and ask it, that would be great. Otherwise, please, anybody else? Okay.
Okay, I have a question.
Okay, please go ahead.
Hi, Vivian.
Hello.
Question is, I think people attending here, if they're attending, they don't have those connections to potential partners already. So cold emailing is one possibility. In your experience, what's the average yield? How many cold emails do you need to send for how many responses for one partnership?
Oh, you mean the emails that I receive, how many of them I actually reply?
No, so for example, how many, thinking of, I need one partnership now for the next year, how many emails on average would I need to send in order to receive, say, 10 replies in order to have one partnership with this group?
Right, so that's a tough one to answer. So I don't think the number of emails will help you. I think when it comes to partnership is very different from lead generation. And the reason why I don't think like the number of emails matter is because going through a partnership relationship is much more complex than just buying a product one time, right? So if you don't have the connection, it's more likely, in my case, as someone who receives those emails, I will reply if I've seen that the person that has done their homework. If I read that email and it sounds very generic and it doesn't connect to me, I won't look at it. I might send a thank you note. I will let you know if something comes along, but in most cases, I will reply if it really talks to something that makes sense. So one thing that's useful for me is when someone refers to something I've done in the past. So they say, "Oh, I've seen you did this project, and I've seen that you are looking at doing something in this and this direction. I think we can connect, and we can. I think it might be interesting for us to exchange on what we could do together." Those I might like look at more, and also of course give some information about yourself and what you do. Then a generic email. I would say don't go for the generic email approach.
Thank you.
Any other questions?
Yeah, hi, I just jump in quick. Thanks for your presentation. I've got actually a question now. When I write them a message, either like email or I have a contact person or however, am I mentioning what I have in mind, like what my intention is to have like after maybe a smaller project like a strategic partnership? Or like when is the time to mention it? You know what I mean?
Not in the first email.
Okay, I thought
Yeah.
so.
The first email, sorry?
How do I then best start? Like I say, like of course I got that with the values and like to say, okay, your benefit is that, my benefit is that. But in the end of the day, like then the people still think like, okay, but what is behind, no?
Yeah, they know. People are if they have been doing this for a while, they know. So if you ask for a meeting to exchange experiences and maybe discuss opportunities, people will know what that means.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, go for that and try to get that personal meeting first.
Okay.
And then you talk about like, oh, maybe we could do something together. Maybe we can look at a partnership.
Yes, okay, that makes sense. So in the first initial contact, I just asked for exchange, a meeting, however, and then, okay, that makes sense. Yeah.
Yeah.
Cool. Great. Thank you.
It's kind of like, you know, when you start dating someone, you don't straight away tell them like, maybe one day we get married. It's the same.
Yeah, 100%. All right, cool. Thanks for that.
Thank you.
Hi, can you hear me?
Yes.
Can I ask a question? Hi, Vivi. This has been extremely insightful. I'm actually wondering, once you're building experience, right? I mean, you have several partnerships behind, and you're actually trying to build new ones. How do you get to figure out how long should you invest in a partnership? So you have 2 or 3 that you're trying to build, but you know, one is seems easy, but it's eventually not. And you're spending, you know, more coffees and more lunches or more dinners. When is it the right time to stop? What criteria would you use? I mean, what's your experience on that?
That's a good question. It's a tough question because it's not rocket science. It's a lot about, so this is the thing, when you grow as a company, you will assign a partnerships person, right? Because doing partnerships take a lot of time and a lot of effort. When you're a one-woman show, you don't have that luxury of having someone chasing partnerships for you. So you have to go for what makes logical sense versus your gut feeling. At the end of the day, it is a little bit about your gut feeling. If you have been doing coffees and meetings and exchanging and showing this and showing that, and it's not going anywhere, then it might be time to try something else and reactivate that maybe at some point. Because what happens with partnerships, and I forgot to mention this, and it's a good question. Sometimes I really want to partner with someone, but it's not the moment for me because I am in another process. I'm doing like my, I don't know, my end of the year auditing, or my budget has come to an end, or I'm actually invested in some other project. I don't have the time right now. So I'm in my other end. So the importance of empathizing with who you're trying to deliver the partnership with. I as much as I'm interested, I just don't have the mental space at that point. So if you're trying to develop partnership with someone who's not going anywhere, maybe I don't absolutely pause the relationship, but put less effort on it, try someone else, and then try to reconnect with that person who is very important for you at some other point. And try to reactivate that and see if that will go somewhere. That has happened to me in the past, that I had the interest of partnering someone because a lot of things were happening that didn't go anywhere. A year later, or 6 months later, I don't know, that person reactivated and was like, oh, remember we were talking about this at some point, maybe we should talk about this again. And at that point was a great moment. So the partnership happened. So my recommendation would be, if it's really not going anywhere, maybe shift your attention to something that might have some bigger track, but then remember to reactivate that at some point also.
Great, thank you.
Any other questions?
If I may just follow up, I mean, I feel like you mentioned Airtable CRM as a nice tool because it has notifications. I guess that you have then a pool of active and otherwise dormant partnerships, or even just relationships that are not necessarily going to turn into partnerships, but can be leading you to new potential partnerships. I'm guessing you have something like that. Do you mind sharing or creating a template of such Airtable that you're using? Because I think that would be extremely valuable.
Sure. I actually copied from someone who had already posted online. So I'm gonna, that was a couple of years ago, but I'm gonna try to, because it was really insightful as to how do you do that. Otherwise, I will share mine anyway, but their explanation was really good. So I'll try to find that one.
Excellent. Thank you very much, Vivi. Great contribution.
Yes, this is really great, Vivi. Thank you so much. Any last question? Anybody else? If there are no more questions, from the bottom of my heart, Vivi, I would like to thank you so much for sharing with us your experience, your wisdom, your knowledge, your time, and really, is anybody trying to ask? No. Okay, so once again, thank you so much. We wish you a lot of luck on your new job. And we're looking forward to receiving the Airtable. For those of you who are watching us online, thank you very much for being with us. Next time, next Friday, we might have 2 people. The first one is Daniel Laurer. He's going to he's a venture capitalist, and he's going to tell you what is in a venture capitalist's head. However, it is really crucial that you be there, because he's going to work with you. He is not going to have a PowerPoint presentation. He's going to work with you there and then. So please show up. Meanwhile, we are also in the process of talking to a person who wants to make a presentation about connecting in an authentic manner. And it's very likely that we are going to have this presentation on the 16th from 9:15 until 10:15. So this is all from us. Thank you very much. If you have not eaten yet, please have lunch. Vivi, I hope you have had dinner. Thank you once again, and goodbye.
Thank you.
Bye. Thank you.
Bye.